Hello everyone, so today we are going to do Leetcode daily challenge, spell with anagram. And before starting this question, let us see what anagram is. So in this question we are given with two strings and we need to return true if T is an anagram of S and false otherwise, right? So before that we should know that what anagram is. Anagram is a word or phrase formed by rearranging the letters of different word or phrase, typically using all the original letters exactly once. So if we have T, X, T as one word, then S, T, A, N, T another word. Here if we see, then both of them, we can see that T matches, but E is not there, X is not there, and again one more T is not there. So this is not an anagram. But if we see that or tab, then here we can see that B matches, A matches, and then T matches. Here all the words are matching, although they are in different order. Even if we see this example, here also we can see anagram and nagaram. Okay, so N, A, then A again, then D, then R, M, A. All of these words are matching. Despite of position of the letters, all the letters are matching, right? So in that scenario, both of these are anagram, but this is not an anagram. So this is what an anagram is. So after seeing these examples, what comes to our mind? That we are required to count the letters which are there in first word, the letters which are there in second word. We are required to keep a map sort of thing, that whatsoever letters are there in the first, what is the count of that, and whatsoever letters are there in second word, what is the count of that also. So this is what we are required to maintain in both of the words map. So this is how this question directly becomes a question of map. Like you can say a brute force solution which comes to our mind, because this is the first thing which comes to mind after seeing this particular question, because we are required to get count of that, how many times this T occurred, how many times this occurred, then how many times this X occurred, then how many times this T occurred. So in total now it is 2, because earlier also it occurred. So after combining both of them, here if map is there, then T is equal to E is equal to 1 and X is equal to 1. The same for the second word. So in that manner we can do this. Or other way around, if we want to think in the terms of saving our, by the way, there also our these would be already saved. But if it is allowed to modify the original word, then what we can do is we can sort both of them. That will take us n log n time. But the thing is that we would be directly able to check. Then we could directly run a loop and then check that are these words matching or not. But the other method of counting the frequency, that is not of that n log n. That is directly of order of n solution. Because what we would be doing is, Here again the thing is that we are required to count the frequency by using an array of 26 length, and 26 length is simply a constant, right? So that's why we won't be using any space complexity. The space complexity would be directly order of 1 in this particular scenario, because if we are counting the frequency of each alphabet which occurs in that particular word, then as there are 26 alphabets only, that's why it would be constant space. It won't exceed 26. It could be less than 26, but it won't exceed 26. That's why we would be using lesser space complexity, that is order of 1 itself, as 26 is constant. Now comes the part how we would be doing with the help of frequency mapping. So in context of frequency mapping, when we take an array or 26 letters, then what we would be doing, we'll check that whatsoever letter is there, let it be C as the variable, minus, then we would be checking for, we would be directly just converting it into integer, because index is integer. Then corresponding to that, we will increment. That is the thing which we would be doing. And then after this, for this particular means for 1, say S, we would be incrementing, for T we would be decrementing, and then at the end we will check that if this particular array all are 0 or not. So that would return as true or false for our anagram. This is the thing which we are required to do here, and that is how we would be coding this particular question. Now comes the coding part. Let me show you how we can code it. Earlier I tried some other method using two different maps that I was trying earlier, but now I will show you in the single map itself. It could be done in single map also. Map, or you can use any array also, that would also help. Because we are just required to store the frequencies. Why I have taken this constraint, because we are not, although they are in the ranges, this 1 to 10 this to the 4, but they have not specified that the length of both would be equal or not. So that's why we are required to keep this edge case. If they both are not equal, then we are required to return false, because in that scenario there is no way that they would be anagram, because if their lengths are not same, then how you can say that count of each character would be zero. That's why. Then I have taken vector of int frequency and initialize with 0. After initializing each letter, each count as 0, what we are doing here is we are making this vector as an array so that we can store into it like this. That's why. Else it will give you runtime error if you just do this much portion. It won't store like this then. That's the thing. Now comes the part how we are required to store it. So here what I've taken is I've just taken s of I minus a for the first string which is being given to us. Here I am incrementing each letter count, and here I would be decrementing each letter count. The thing is, then let me show you example for this anagram and then nagagram. So how this frequency array would work? So in frequency array, the first letter is A, right? So it would be having everything like this. G M N O L M क्या कर रही है? M N O P Q R S T U V. So the thing would be when we encounter this A, so it will be incremented with 1. When we encounter it with N, then it will be decremented by 1, because for this we are decrementing, right? So that's why. Then when comes this N, then we will increment it. So again this count will become 0. And when this A comes, we will decrement. So again the count will become 0. Then A comes, we increment. Count becomes 1. Then G comes, then we decrement. Then G comes, we increment. Count again becomes 0. Then A comes, we decrement. Count again becomes 0. When R comes, we increment. Then another decrement because of this. Then A comes, we increment. Then again A comes, we decrement. Then M comes, we increment. Then again M comes, we decrement. So in total, at the end, again the whole array becomes 0 because this is anagram. So that's why this will work. And then at the end, what we are checking, for int I equal, means traversing that particular array, and we'll check frequency of each character which is there. If at any point frequency is not equal to 0, either it is positive or it is negative, then we'll return false. Else we'll return true, that its frequency is 0. And this is how we will be doing this question. So this was all. If you have any doubt, you could comment that down. And do please like and subscribe to my channel. And yeah, you can also share your solution in the comment section, or whatsoever you like to share about this particular question. So this was all. Thank you.